Hello, good evening. My name is Steve the Searcher. That's the name I'm known on the internet, and I'm happy to be known as Steve the Searcher. Today I went to a protest in Dublin. It was an anti-mask protest, an anti-vaccine protest. And I'm glad I went. I don't usually go to protests. In fact, this is the first time I've ever went to a protest in my life. But there's no point in just sitting in your house and complaining. You have to get out there and you have to do something. You have to make a stand sometimes. What we witnessed over the last few months has been nothing short of a global coup. Our whole lives have been turned upside down, and for no good reason. Well, actually there is a reason, but it's not a good reason. It's a very sinister reason, and it's been mainly fueled by politicians who want to extend their powers worldwide. It's been fueled by billionaires, and it's been fueled by the media. And these are the people who are responsible for this outrage. That's the only word I could describe it. It's an outrage. We should never have had any lockdowns. They were totally unnecessary. They were totally evil. That's the only way I could describe it. It's an evil takeover of the world. Anyway, I have a lot of things to say about that, but I'm not going to say it this evening. I'll keep them for my own video. This video is not about me or my ideas. This video is about the protest today in Dublin. So I recorded some video of one of the last speakers. In fact, she was the last speaker, Dolores Cale. And she's well known on YouTube for speaking out against the vaccine, the lockdown, face masks, and she's an excellent speaker. So I recorded most of her speech. I left a bit out at the end because my arms are getting too tired holding my camera phone up. But I got most of the video of her speaking. So I will talk to you again, but I'll leave it at this for this evening. I'm going to put her video now at the end of this video, and I hope you enjoy it. And I might talk to you again if there's an interest. I don't know if anyone wants to hear what I have to say, but as I said, this is not about me this evening. This is just about the protest today in Dublin. So, good evening, and have a nice Saturday evening. Thank you.
All of you for your support, and I won't keep too much time. The theme I'm just going to say is that our duty in life is to live it and not be afraid. So don't be afraid. So that the opposite of fear is love. And so what we have to do is to figure out what's going on, and I will just give you some information about this virus. So when they call the pandemic, there are 7,800 million people in the world, and the World Health Organization called the pandemic on the 11th of March. And guess how many people, now all deaths are tragic, but guess how many people had died of SARS-CoV-2? 4,200. So you had a 1.1 in 1.8 million chance of dying when they called the pandemic. It had already spread to 114 countries all over the globe. Tuberculosis is another infectious disease, and every day in 2020, 3,000 people die of that. And of COVID-19, 56 people died. So 50 times more. There's absolutely no need. So when they talk about a second spike, there wasn't a first one. So the World Health Organization came out with figures on the 9th of March for how many people died, right? 3,000 of TB every day. 1,000 of influenza, 56 for SARS-CoV-2. So there was no need to call a pandemic. There was no need in Ireland or anywhere in the world to shut down the economy. Absolutely no need. And that is the fundamental issue, right? If there was no death or illness relatively from the virus, then all of the other consequences are legally, ethically, ethically, societally not necessary. So there is, I will not be wearing a mask ever. I will not. And I would say in everything in life, it's the harm versus the benefit. If you wear a mask, it reduces your oxygen supply, and the OSHA standards in the United States say if your oxygen level is below 19.5%, that you can't work and you can't function. And once you put on any mask, it goes down under 18%. So you should not be wearing a mask. It's bad for your health. It suppresses your immune system. And I would say the government and the health agencies have to face the consequences of recommending employers and restaurants and bus drivers or anyone who's driving a vehicle to be wearing a mask that reduces their oxygen supply and increases their carbon dioxide to above dangerous levels. So it is wrong. So we have to stand up and say to the government, how dare you? How dare you? And so I am, as I have done before, I am very happy and throwing down the gauntlet to my colleague. So let's throw it down to, who is it? Miriam, I don't watch RT anymore, but is it Miriam O'Callaghan? Yeah? Or to Professor Luke O'Neill, who I've met. Or to the Taoiseach, Micheál Martin. So I suppose my two things today are about the motto is, okay, don't be afraid. We are on this earth to live life. We have a duty to live life, not to be afraid. Don't be afraid. We have to speak the truth, and we have to value our freedoms. So what I'm saying about speaking the truth is, if I am wrong, I will go against 10 people or 20 people from the HSE, any doctor, any immunologist, Professor Luke O'Neill, the Minister for Health, that they need to provide the evidence for why they are mandating masks and why they are mandating social distance. I can honestly say it was never necessary. Never. So the other thing, though, is, which is not good, is that in May 2020, Switzerland did a study of the harm due to the lockdown. So a lot of the evidence is known that for every 1% increase in unemployment, you get so many ill health effects, cancers, and suicide. So Bloomberg did a study in May 2020, and guess which country is going to predict it to have the worst outcomes from society and lockdown in Europe? Ireland. So our unemployment rate has gone from 5.6% in February to 26% in June. But the hope is that we have to, now that we know what's going on, is that we can actually, help each other, encourage businesses. I'm actually very honored to work with the Public Banking Forum. I'm actually trying to set up a bank. Forum has done the work, but I'm just very honored to support them. And they have been in touch with Professor Richard Werner, who has set up a bank in the United Kingdom under the Sparkasse German model, okay? So what we're trying to do is not just stand up against, the government mandating things that are not good for your health, that were not necessary, are going to ruin another generation, okay? We had the banking crash, now they want to ruin another generation. So what we're saying is, speak up, don't be afraid, and we're having none of it, okay? Call it out.